I will never, ever support a people swap where you can send a 13-year-old child unaccompanied to a country without supervision.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
It'll be over my dead body. How dare people?
Hello and welcome to Wound Up. That was June 2012, with the then Shadow Treasurer Joe Hockey shedding a few crocodile tears at the mere thought of sending unaccompanied children to another country and saying it would be over his dead body. Well, on the 17th of February 2014, 10 unaccompanied children were sent to Nauru by the Abbott government. Well, Joe, how about it? Will you honour your commitment?
I want the ABC to be a straight news gathering and news reporting organisation, and a lot of people feel at the moment that the ABC instinctively takes everyone's side but Australia's. Look, if there's credible evidence, the ABC, like all other news organisations, is entitled to report it, but you can't leap to be critical. You shouldn't leap to be critical of your own country, and you certainly ought to be prepared to give the Australian Navy and its hard-working personnel the benefit of the doubt.
In that interview with 2GB's Ray Hadley, Prime Minister Tony Abbott highlights his lack of understanding about our ABC, and that is that the A doesn't stand for Abbott. The ABC is not and never has been a government cheer squad. Its news service has a responsibility to gather and report news from international, national and state-based sources. If this leads to highlighting claims of espionage by our government or of the maltreatment of asylum seekers at the hands of our Navy, then so be it. There's a very good reason why we need the ABC. When thousands of people attended candlelit vigils around Australia for slain asylum seeker Reza Barati, who died in violence at the Manus Island Detention Centre last Monday, pro-conservative News Limited newspapers didn't even acknowledge it. But your ABC did. So Tony, my advice to you is to keep your grubby hands off my ABC and to toughen the hell up. If you want a friend, buy a dog. The Abbott government's treatment of asylum seekers has copped a fair bit of international flack over the last few weeks, most notably from Indonesia, but also including public criticism from China, which, as you know, is a fairly checkered human rights record itself. Now, the United Nations Human Rights Office has said Australia's treatment of asylum seekers sent to offshore processing centres is cruel, inhuman and degrading, and it violates international law. The bad press on the issue of asylum seekers is not restricted to the coalition, though. Labor had enough grief with its own policies, and perhaps the opportunity lies now in a more compassionate approach to asylum seekers and refugees. If the recent Light the Dark vigils are any indication, there is significant public opinion to support such a shift in policy. Having said that, it's clear to me that Scott Morrison is revelling in his role overseeing the humiliation and misery of asylum seekers on Manus Island. His arrogance when dealing with the press is well known, an example of which is this exchange between he and the Insider's Barry Cassidy.
3 days ago, an Indian student took his own life at a detention centre in Melbourne. He was in that centre because he overstayed his visa. Could that have been avoided?
Could he have avoided overstaying his visa?
It's been suggested to me that Scott Morrison is not evil and that Cassidy's question was unclear and clunky. I don't view it that way at all. His answers seem to be an example of the extreme arrogance which he also displayed recently when berating journalists for raising reports that contradicted his statement regarding the riots inside the Manus Island Detention Centre. These riots that left 1 man dead and 77 injured. Morrison was adamant the violence, including the fatality, had occurred outside the centre's perimeter, where, he said, security personnel were unable to ensure the safety of asylum seekers. He's since conceded, though, that much of the violence, including the fatality, occurred within the centre's perimeter. The fact remains, though, that the Abbott government has failed in its basic duty of care to ensure the safety of these people. Not illegals, not transferees, people. Since September, I've had the coalition blues.
Well, since September, I've had the coalition blues. Yeah, since the election, I've had the coalition blues. 'Cause when those fat cats won, you knew we must well gonna lose. They took away our fibre, replaced it with 2 tin cans. Yeah, they took away my fibre, replaced it with 2 old tin cans. Now our broadband service, the slowest of all the lands. They're off making trade deals behind those big closed doors. Yeah, they're off making trade deals behind those big closed doors. 'Cause these fat cats in office, they do their trading like horse. Well, since September, I've had the coalition blues. Yeah, since the election, I've had the coalition blues. 'Cause when those fat cats won, you knew we must well gonna lose. My doctor tells me I can't get sick no more. My first check is bounced and the tax man, he's at my door. Now with a 6-buck prepayment, I can't get sick no more. Those pesky voter rivals, they just seem to disappear. And asylum seekers, they demonize them with sneers. What's happening in secret is what we all should really fear. Well, since September, I've had the coalition blues. Yeah, since the election, I've had the coalition blues. 'Cause when those fat cats won, you knew we must well gonna lose. Now that those ass clowns won, we might as well sing the blues.
For Independent Australia, that's all from Wound Up. Until next time, keep singing the blues.